Challengers is a sports drama centered around the art of tennis and a passionate love triangle. The director of this American film is the Italian filmmaker Luca Guadagnino. Luca is known for his visually captivating and emotional storytelling. His past films include the coming-of-age drama Call Me By Your Name, his remake of Dario Argento's horror classic Suspiria, and romantic films like A Bigger Splash and I Am Love. Luca is also recognized for his stylistic visuals, sharp attention to details, flashy color, and ability to create films set in fitting environments, which we will discuss later in this video. Now let me give you a quick summary of the 2024 film Challengers. After a traumatic knee injury ended her tennis career, Tashi transitioned to coaching, dedicating herself to turning her husband Art from an average player into a world-renowned Grand Slam champion. Now, Art had always viewed tennis as a fun, enjoyable sport, but recently he started to fantasize about what his life would be like if it wasn't centered around tennis. Tashi gets frustrated and desperately tries to help him break out of his slump. Tashi enters Art into a low-level challenger tournament on the Pro Tour. When Art finds himself facing Patrick, his former best friend and Tashi's ex-boyfriend, who was once a talented player but now is a burnout, tensions quickly rise. This film doesn't follow a normal chronological order. Instead, it uses flashbacks to help the audience understand the storyline and the relationship between the three protagonists, Tashi, Art, and Patrick. This storytelling choice builds tension by providing background information on the relationships between the three characters. The movie starts by focusing on the relationship between Art and Tashi, then subtly shifts to the dynamic between Art and Patrick, and finally the relationship between Tashi and Patrick. The love triangle between the characters developed throughout the movie and reaches its conclusion in the final scene called Match Point. Now, before I play the scene, I encourage you to pay close attention to the filmmaker's choice in using slow-mo, close-up shots, and the music playing in the background. In this intense tennis match between ex-best friends, Art and Patrick, they are divided, positioned on the opposite ends of the court, while Tashi sits directly in front of the net, symbolizing her center role between the relationships of the three. This placement shows that Tashi is at the heart of the stranded relationship. Tashi serves as the main reason for their conflict, and her seated position emphasizes the emotional separation between Art and Patrick. The use of slow motion allowed viewers to experience the intensity of the scene, highlighting Tashi's reaction and making it more powerful. I found a journal titled Slow Motion in Films and Video Clips. Music influences perceived duration and emotion, autonomic physiological activation, and pupillary responses by Lutz Jank. In the article, Jank discusses how slow motion affects the audience's perception, stating, "In addition to time being slowed down, they also frequently reported a higher alertness and speed in cognitive functioning. This enabled them to perceive numerous details that they would not have noticed otherwise." Slow motion captured how hard Tashi gripped her hands, the speed of the ball, paused facial expressions of Art, Patrick, and Tashi, and stressed the overall reaction of the audience to the match. The music in the background played a vital role in this powerful scene, enhancing its emotional depth and influencing how time was perceived in combination with the slow motion effects. Janke states, "Most researchers agree that music can indeed induce emotions rather than only convey emotional stress that people may recognize. The song, at 130 beats per minute, creates a high-stress environment for the average audience's emotional state, enhancing the tension in the scene. The slow motion and music helped capture the stress, but the camera angles also played a significant role. The two shots I'll focus on are the medium close-up and low-angle shots. In this scene, the director used medium close-ups to capture the audience's facial reactions, particularly Tashi's. Low-angled shots were used to highlight the quickness of Art and Patrick's legs during the match, emphasizing their movement with speed. Finally, I want to discuss Art and Patrick as the scene comes to an end. The intense match ends suddenly with Art jumping to finish, ending up in Patrick's arms. This moment can be seen as a closure between the two, stemming from the history of the love triangle involving Tashi. The hug symbolizes forgiveness, allowing the two to reconcile and move past the way Tashi came between their friendship. We don't necessarily know who won the match. Francesca Sobad from the European Journal of Cultural Studies wrote her analysis on the film titled Challengers, a cultural studies commentary on the fire and ice of filmic desires. When discussing her interpretation of the end, she said, "The ending of Challengers has been debated at length, with people speculating about who wins and what happens next. But maybe part of the point is that the film's final moments, there are no winners. Instead, we've seen Tashi, Art, and Patrick go somewhere beautiful, even if bitterly, and get back to the place together, at least once more." The visual metaphors for power and connection in the love triangle between Art, Patrick, and Tashi in the final match of Challengers are portrayed through slow motion, music, and camera angles. Slow motion emphasizes key movements of tension, while the music enhances the emotional depth of the scene. The medium close-up and low-angle shots captures the characters' expressions and movements, illustrating the power dynamics and emotional connections. These aesthetic choices highlight the complexities within their relationships.